Hi there. Welcome back to Children's ongoing live Q&A series. My name is Dustin, and today we're talking about booster seat safety. I'm joined by two members of our injury prevention team here at Children's Wisconsin, whose focus and expertise is on child passenger safety. We've got Nick Maniaci. He's an injury prevention coordinator and child passenger safety instructor, and Ashley Cleary, who is an injury prevention coordinator and child passenger safety technician. Nick and Ashley are here today to take your questions, which we'll be answering towards the end of this broadcast, along with sharing some tips and tricks they may have for parents when it comes to keeping your child as safe as possible in your vehicle. Even if you're not watching this video live, please leave your questions and comments in the video on Facebook, and we'll make sure to answer them afterwards. If you're not, sorry. Nick and Ashley, thank you both again for joining us today. Let's start by having you both introduce yourselves and a little bit more about the roles that I just described for you.
Thanks, Dustin. So my name's Nick Maniaci, and I'm an injury prevention coordinator. I run the state's Wisconsin Child Passenger Safety Program, and I've been a technician for almost 4 years and an instructor for less than a year.
Ashley, how about you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ashley Cleary, and I'm an injury prevention coordinator and child passenger safety technician here at Children's Wisconsin. I've been a technician for over 2.5 years, and I'm an instructor candidate. And my main focus is our car seat programs, car seat clinic, and virtual appointments.
Great. Nick, my first question is going to be a bit broad for you. Can you talk a little bit about booster seats, what the difference is between a booster seat and a car seat, and what makes booster seats so important?
Yeah, so booster seats are a really important step between the time when a child has outgrown their harness car seat and is ready to sit using a seatbelt. So the main point of a booster seat is to raise the child up so that the vehicle's lap and shoulder belt fit over the strongest part of the child's body.
So there's a number of different makes and models, much like the cars that they go in, but there are two general types from my understanding. Can you outline the difference between those?
Yeah, so that is correct. I know a lot of times parents and caregivers always ask me, should I be getting a high back or a no back booster seat? So I will go over the different types, and those are two of them. I have the high back over here, and then this one is the no back booster seat. All booster seats are required to meet the same exact crash test standards. So next, I'll help you determine which booster seat is best for your child. So in regards to the high back booster seat, this one may provide some additional support and protection around your child, just because that shell kind of wraps around them a little bit more compared to on the no back booster seat, there isn't really that additional support around them. It may also help keep your child stay upright and in the correct position so that the seatbelt fits them properly. It helps position the shoulder belt better for smaller children so that it sits properly across their shoulder and it isn't digging into their neck or too low on their arm. And then it may also help provide the support necessary behind the child's head if the vehicle does not have a headrest. So sometimes, mostly in older vehicles, they do not contain a headrest, which is needed in order to use a booster seat. I should say a no back booster seat. So if you do not have a headrest, a high back booster seat is the option for you. So next up then is the no back booster seat, and I'll go over some of the benefits of this one. It may be a better option for children who are older and a little bit more independent. It's a little less, I'd say, rigid and less shelling, so it's a little bit more free for them. It can provide some additional room if you want to fit 3 car seats across in the back seat, since it's a little bit smaller and narrow to use that boost. Did I cut out there, Dustin, or am I good?
So how does a caregiver know when a child is ready to sit with just a seatbelt and graduate from a booster seat?
Nick, you cut out.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So Children's Wisconsin goes by safe as practice. So all children should remain in a booster seat until they're at least 4 feet 9 inches tall and can pass the 5 steps that I'm going to talk about. So the child must be able to sit all the way back against against the vehicle seat, meaning that they're back angle at the edge of the seat, so that it's comfortable. Sorry, the seatbelt must cross the shoulder between the neck and the arm, so it should lie flat, kind of right on the shoulder. The lap belt must sit low and across the top of the child's thighs. You don't want to dig it into their stomach. And then the child must be able to sit like this the entire trip, and you don't want them to slouch. So Dustin has put up a great graphic on the screen that goes over these 5 steps. Many times children do not pass all these steps until they're tested with your child and see if they're ready to sit with just that seatbelt. And if they can't pass all 5 of these, then it's not time yet. A lot of times it'll be a lot more comfortable for the child to wait until they pass all these steps. When they don't pass them, many times the seatbelt's cutting into their neck or stomach, and then they tend to put it behind them, which is exactly what we don't want to happen, because that can lead to serious injury and a crash. So remember, once children are out of that car or booster seat, they should remain in that back seat until they're 13 years of age. And then next up, we do have a short crash test video that shows you kind of the difference for children who are riding a booster versus a child who is not. So the top child is in a booster seat, and the bottom child is under 4 feet 9 inches tall and is not in a booster seat. So as you can see, that bottom child would sustain some pretty severe injuries just based on the fact that they kind of slide out from underneath that seatbelt, and it'll cause a lot of abdominal issues, and it could cause some neck issues and things like that. So that's the main reason for the booster seat, is that it really rises that child up and creates the perfect fit for the seatbelt, both the lap and the shoulder.
Thanks, Dick. Let's shift over to some tips and tricks for caregivers when it comes to booster seats. Now, Ashley, I know that you're in our demonstration space with 2 different examples on each side of you. Can you walk us through some of the common tips and tricks your team has for caregivers?
Thanks, Dustin. Like you mentioned, I'm in our demonstration space, and I have a high back booster and a no back booster with me, as long as some friends to help demonstrate proper fit. So first, I want to talk through a little bit about how to harness your child into the booster seat. So in the high back booster, you're going to place your child into the booster seat just like you would, and then you would buckle the child in just like how you and I would buckle our seatbelt. The lap belt portion of the seatbelt should go across the child's lap, not on their tummy or lying on the child's legs. And then the shoulder belt portion would come across the child's body and goes flat between the child's neck and shoulder. The important part about the shoulder belt is to make sure that it fits in through the belt guide that's located on the side of the seat, kind of behind the child's ear. This location will vary on most booster seats. So I also have a no back booster seat over here, and it's pretty similar that you'll put the child into the booster seat and buckle the child in with the lap and shoulder belt. The lap belt will go across the child's lap as well, and not in the tummy or on the child's legs. What is different about a no back booster is that the shoulder belt portion of the booster seat has an adjustable part that allows the shoulder belt to have proper fit between the child's neck and shoulder. So this can be adjustable as the child grows, and it just tightens a little bit in the back. So this piece just goes right above the child's shoulders to give a good position for that shoulder belt. And then, like Nick mentioned, the no back booster, you must need a headrest on your vehicle seat. So some tips to find where the correct belt path is for, or the belt guides for your booster seat, would be to first check in the vehicle manual, or some seats might have a red notch where the lap belt goes through, or the shoulder belt guide. Some other booster seats may have a sticker located in that belt path or engraved in the shell of the car seat telling you that that's where the lap belt should go, or that's where the shoulder belt should go. It's really important to use the belt guides to make sure that you have proper fit for your child, which is really important if there was ever a crash. When using booster seats, no matter if it's high back or no back, always use a lap and shoulder belt with the booster seat. Never put the seatbelt behind the child's back or have the child put their arm in to make the shoulder belt go down a little bit more. Also, just a reminder that it is back to school time and that you should remind your child to take off the backpack before getting in the car, and never buckle a backpack into a booster seat or a car seat. Always check the car seat manual or vehicle owner's manual for the correct way to use and install each seat.
Great. We just had a really good question come through, and I know we said we'd wait till the end, but I think it makes sense to do right now. So Katie here is asking, when you are getting out of the booster seat stage, do you go by age, weight, or height?
Yeah, so I can answer this question. We always go by safest practice, so we go by height. We want your child to be at least 4 feet 9 inches tall and to pass that 5-step test. Those are kind of our key criteria that we look at to see if a child's ready. According to Wisconsin law, it's 8 years old or 80 pounds or 4 feet 9 inches. But like I talked about earlier, we really recommend that 4 feet 9 inches tall because that is when usually the shoulder and lap belt fit the child best.
That makes a ton of sense. And just for illustrative purposes, I'll show that simulation again. That really kind of, I think, illustrates quite well why height is such an important component and why we recommend going by height, because you can see the action that the seatbelt has on the child's neck is one piece of the puzzle that can cause that kind of significant injury.
For sure.
Jumping back to you, Ashley, thanks for taking that question, Nick. So there's obviously a lot of important things to know for caregivers as it relates to keeping kids safe in vehicles. And as great as doing this live stream is right now, there's more resources available. Can you talk a little bit about what other resources are out there?
Yeah, so Children's Wisconsin has a variety of resources and services available to families and caregivers. So we offer virtual video visit car seat appointments to help caregivers with general questions and help with installation. These appointments can be made by calling Central Scheduling 414-607-5280. And we also have educational videos, FAQ sheets, and resource sheets available on our website for caregivers to look at our website, watch some videos about different seasonal, like puffy coats or just general car seat questions. And our website is childrenswi.org/carseats. It's also at the bottom of the screen.
So I want to focus on the virtual car seat visits and or car seat checks and what that means and entails. Can you explain a little more about what that is, Ashley?
Yes, a virtual visit is a video visit appointment with a certified child passenger safety technician like myself or Nick, and we can answer families, caregivers questions about general car seat questions. We can walk through a full installation, or we can check to make sure that your car seat is installed correctly or booster seat is installed correctly. These appointments are free. Yes, they're free. Please take advantage of them. We're here to help you. We're always here to answer any questions that you may have about car seats.
And again, I'll illustrate, those are 100% free and a great resource, and Ashley and team are happy to help you keep your child as safe as possible. So that's all we have today. I want to thank you both so much. We answered the main question that we had come through in the comments. Before we wrapped up, I wanted to give you both an opportunity to say some closing words to our audience.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for having us. I know a lot of times parents and caregivers, I get countless questions on when their child is ready to use the seatbelt. So I really hope this live stream helped. And I hope we gave you some tips on when your child is ready to move into using that seatbelt. So thanks, everyone.
And thank you for joining us. I just want to encourage that caregivers, your kids are always watching. So you should make sure that you're also buckling up every time. So you're demonstrating good behavior for the child that's riding in the back seat.
Well, thank you again, both Nick and Ashley. Thank you to our audience for joining us live today. If you didn't join us live, feel free to leave a question in the comments and we'll point you to the right answer. Remember, you can schedule a virtual car seat check by either calling 414-607-5280 or visiting our website, childrenswi.org/carseats, where there's a ton of other useful information. And those virtual visit car seat checks are 100% free as well. So thank you so much. Have a great day.